Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hi.
I'm here with my daughter again to talk about Severance. If you notice, we are in our traditional lumen blue, dressed accordingly. So on Saturdays, we wear blue. All right, this is season 2, episode 8 of Severance called Sweet Vitriol. I noticed once again we had a really great recap, but we did not have the opening title credits. Probably because we're not in the building.
In the building, yeah.
So I understand the point, but I missed it. I had to go to YouTube and watch it on my own.
Yeah.
And so we open this episode with shots of the water, Harmony driving on the cliff, lots of snow, ice.
And the tint is super blue, and that reminded me a bunch of Twilight. So that's interesting to me, especially because I remember hearing a theory about the lumen symbol. The teardrop is actually a blood drop, or at least that's a theory. So there might be some connection there, but I could be reaching.
I think that definitely makes sense. Like remember they had the blood drive, so I think that there are little nuggets there. It could definitely be connected. Yeah, and in this show, I'm 100% sure it was on purpose. I forgot to press play. All right. And so then we see, this is what got me. I'm not a driver. I'm a really good passenger, though. But I'm not sure when they showed Harmony driving, it looked like the sign that said Salt Neck, thank you for visiting, was on the wrong side. It looked like she was leaving town versus coming into town. And I don't know if that's just maybe how the roads work there. Or, you know what? I just realized it could be because we don't know that this is the United States or America or
yeah, and
Earth.
in the UK they do it different, right?
Yeah, so it could just be that's the side that they drive on the opposite side. Yeah, so who knows? We'll see. All right, so then, all right, see, we just got through the first 3 notes right away. Oh yeah, the town is really run down. Everything looks abandoned. I would think that nobody lived there at all just by looking at it. And it reminded me of, I may have this in a note later on, but that made me think about how in the last episode where we saw Gemma at the university
Where
in the flashback, or allegedly flashback, we're not sure, but it appeared as a flashback, and how it was so many people. But then in what we perceive as more present day, everything is run down. So that kind of is what happens when you have like these big corporations come into a community.
They take over everything.
Yeah, and they build it up, and you have all this infrastructure there because you have like all the workers, they need places to live, so they need housing. They need places to eat, so you have restaurants, they have stores. But then once the building closes, the factory shuts down, those people move away. So everything kind of gets run down. So I wonder if maybe that happened in Kier as well, if there was a factory there that closed down, and
that's why there aren't a lot of people there.
Yeah, it's just a possibility. All right, now we see Harmony on the side of the road. Well, kind of on the side of the road, brushing her teeth, which is good. Oral hygiene. It made me think of the dentist though.
Oh god.
From last week, so kind of gave me little negative feelings. And then we see the guy, and we couldn't figure out at first what he was doing.
Yeah, it was like, I thought, and it says here, we thought he might have been having like an asthma attack or something like that.
Yeah, that's literally what I used to do in middle school when we have to run the mile, and I'd have an asthma attack. If I didn't have my inhaler nearby, I'd have to breathe into a brown paper bag, which sounds like it wouldn't work, but it actually did help.
And I literally remember audibly saying once, it cut back to the guy with the paper bag, is he dead? Like, he just fully stopped moving, so...
I didn't know either until, in a few scenes we kind of see what happened. But so thank you, Apple TV. Thank you, Severance, for me having to teach my daughter what huffing meant. I really enjoyed that experience. Say no to drugs. All right, let's see. Okay, with all the shots of the water, this is a coastal town. They are right next to the ocean. I'm surprised that they didn't have more of a wildlife. What's the word? I can't remember. I don't know the word I'm thinking of. But I'm surprised at economy, a wildlife driven economy. Why would there not be more fishing, more crabs? Like you would expect on the North Coast.
It's like it's not just deserted of people, but wildlife too. It's just devoid, and that makes me think of when Harmony came into the shop, or maybe it's a cafe. I'm not really sure. She said that the town looked older than she remembered and frailer than she remembered. So I definitely think that leans back to the whole infrastructure thing for sure.
Yeah, and plus it's been a long time. Like you're still young, but I learned from like the town I grew up in. When I go back there, it's everything. Even what's modern, it still looks different to you because the last time you saw it was like from a child's eyes. So it's interesting. Let's see. We saw Devin calling.
She called
repeatedly.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I remember being like wondering whether or not she like actually called Harmony, because she had the phone up to her ear, so it was like, yeah, she clearly called once, but she called her, I think it was a total of like 3 times. She called her often. I'm really surprised that Harmony didn't like pick up immediately, but she also had like a lot going on. So
yeah, she was on a mission. Well, we can talk more about like their phone calls and the implications of that later on, because like you said, she called several times. Oh, I forgot to say, Harmony, why are you littering, girl?
Yeah, she really just like threw it. Like,
just because stuff is run down don't mean you gotta make it worse. Like, I know plastic bottles aren't the great, but I have mine right here, and you know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna recycle it because I care about my environment. She should care. I was very disappointed in her. But yeah, now we are in the coffee shop cafe where we meet Hampton. Took forever to figure out what his name was.
I don't think I actually realized his name was Hampton. I think I thought that was a code. Like
maybe it is, but I think that's what
an
it was.
odd name.
And so when we see him before Harmony comes in, he's, pouring coffee here and there, talking to the locals. And what we've later realized is he's giving the guy some ether on the house, he says, which makes him a bad drug dealer. Like,
yeah.
You're not going to really make any money that way. Look at the lessons y'all making me teach my daughter.
I'm like writing them all down.
Somebody's going to call CPS. But, And you also, later he breaks the other rule. You don't get high on your own supply. You probably don't know that song, but people my age, no, I'm not going to tell you about those commandments. But some people will recognize what I'm talking about. Maybe get a little chuckle. Let's see. But that does show that he's kind-hearted, even though he's a drug dealer. At least he cares. Well, maybe not, because maybe he's just keeping them hooked. Get one for free, you buy the next one.
That's funny.
Oh, Harmony said, when she said how everyone looks older, town looked older. I'm like, Harmony, look in the mirror. Like, everybody there looks old. And I actually appreciate that people's skin look like skin.
Yeah.
Because skin should look like skin. A lot of times on TV shows, everything is airbrushed and filtered over. And, people forget what actual, like, there's texture here. Like, everything's not perfect. But I do think that they could all benefit from some cocoa butter.
Yeah.
A little moisture would help.
One thing about, like, everyone being so old, I think, like, her name was Dot, I believe. She had like a whole oxygen tank. I was really confused when Hampton told her to close up for him. I don't really understand like the optics of that.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. I wonder if there was like someone else, like maybe he was speaking to off camera, because it will probably take her a while.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you ask the other dude? Like,
because he's gonna be high.
Oh yeah.
She probably locked the door right behind him. To be honest. It looked like they was already pretty much closed. Their eye contact when she came in the door. This show is really good at doing long, awkward scenes.
Yes.
So it was uncomfortable. I didn't know what their dynamic was going to be.
I still don't really know what their dynamic is.
Every time they look at each other, it makes me a little nervous because I don't know, are they just friendly or... And then we see... We still don't know, even with what we see.
Yeah, because Harmony is so weird. Like, I think she might be one of the most, if not the most mysterious character on the show. I think that's a fair statement. I think Harmony is the most mysterious character on the show.
I think they are equally mysterious and important. Alright, so that's her trying to skip ahead. Oh, yeah. I noticed that in the coffee shop, while they're talking, there is no background noise. Like, not like dishes clanking, but like no music. Like most of the time in that type of restaurant, a little coffee shop, you'll have music playing on the radio or like the news on the TV in the background. I wonder if they got TV.
It's like everything is really honed in on making it feel as deserted as possible. There's no wildlife, there's no people, there's no background. Everything is very still.
Yeah. For a minute, like I just said, I wasn't sure if they have like cable or there. Then I thought about like internet, and then I'm surprised that she even has a signal on her phone. I'm surprised
Yeah,
that
from
cell
like
phone even
where?
works. Yeah, but I think maybe it was intentional for them to let us know that there is, a cell service there. So they're like on the outskirts. I don't know what that was. It's like, I don't know, the outskirts of civilization. Um, sorry, y'all. That's a noise I make when I have anxiety. I apologize.
13.
Yeah. Harmony loves talking about herself in the third person.
Harmony Cobell was her introduction. She's so weird.
She introduced herself like to somebody who knew her. It's like, damn, girl. They are, and he recognized you.
I mean, I think it was very clear that he recognized you, girl.
But I wonder how long it's been, because she didn't come back when her mom passed. So when she left, whatever, maybe high school age, maybe like Miss Wong's age, it doesn't seem like she's been back. So I don't know if I'm 42, if I walked by someone that I went to school with, and like high school or middle school with, if they would know me, if they would recognize me after all that long. I guess she has a pretty distinctive look, and they were apparently very close. But that did surprise me a little bit. But she's probably also like a celebrity in the town.
Yeah.
Like, because we know she was one of like the smartest, and she went off, so he might think about her all the time.
And it might be where, like, if he knew of, if he was close to Harmony, he may have been close to Harmony's mom. Who knows? He might have more ties to her than we know, like, at face value. So I don't find it too shocking that he would remember her. Plus, Harmony has such a distinctive energy to her that I bet was even stronger as a child with the way she was raised.
Oh my gosh, I just had an idea. But I don't want to say it because it's a note. But, sorry. Let me write this down real quick so I don't forget. Oh goodness. I'm sorry. This is awkward. I'll make a point of it. I will bring. I know it's like, what does that mean? It'll make sense when we get there. I just had to write down so I won't forget it. I'm just as confused as y'all. Actually, y'all witnessing stuff happening in real time. You're very lucky. I do in that same scene where it's Hampton and Harmony reconnecting. He uses, what does he say? There was a retrenchment from some of the core infrastructure investments, and that's just like one of the sentences.
He knows words.
So like even though he may have been in this town his whole life, he probably also had the potential that Harmony had.
And I was just thinking that with how smart he is, and even though he has like this rugged energy to him, and he's in this rundown town, that would explain. I could imagine that would explain why Harmony was attracted to him at all, because they both seem pretty smart, actually.
And I'm surprised. Well, he does. I think there may be some underlying resentment as well, that like she got out, that maybe she was chosen instead of him.
It very much seems like love-hate, but I don't know if that's love. It's weird. They're weird.
Yeah, it's something.
I don't know if Harmony could be in any relationship and it not be weird, though.
So, and then she tells him to meet her at the factory. She needs a favor. First, she says she don't want no coffee. He's like, well, if you won't sit at this table, you got to buy some. She's like, so okay, you buy me a cup of coffee. And then you pointed out she didn't even drink the coffee.
She didn't even drink it. He paid that. Like,
Harmony.
She got so much nerve to her.
But, like, he followed her out that door and met her. He
follows her like a little puppy. It's been years. How many decades has it been?
I would argue at least like 3. I would say at least 30 years. And so we see them at the factory. I assume that factory is abandoned because of how everything else looks. But in this shot, like, look behind. See that right there, right? But if you see behind him, when he hasn't gotten out of his truck yet, there's a stack of wood pallets. If you know anything about like pallets from like factories, they don't hold up a long time unless you like coat them with like a special wood sealant, especially being out in that weather. Like, I got pallets that have been back at the bottom of my garden since we moved here, and if I were to pick it up, it'd probably fall apart.
Like, they rot, because wood rots.
Yeah,
especially those aren't rotten.
You can treat it, but it's not high quality. So that makes me wonder.
Is
While
it actually abandoned?
maybe there's something still there. Maybe that's where they're making the ether that he's selling. I don't really know how ether works,
Me neither, actually.
and I don't think we're gonna research it. um, so she asked. She said she needs to go to Sissy's. I thought Sissy would be her sister.
Me too. I was very confused when I learned that was her aunt.
Yeah, it appear. Yeah, I would say aunt is the safe guess. I did not know this. Because Hampton says, well, she still lives by the 9. What is the 9?
And that's not the first time we've heard that.
It sounded familiar, but I don't know what it means.
I don't remember.
And I Googled what is the 9, and I got Divine 9, which is, you've heard of it if it doesn't ring a bell. The sororities and fraternities, like a historical black collective. And then other things, but nothing that I felt like made sense in this context. But I also didn't go past the first page of Google, so maybe do more. And then he says Sissy is a pariah. Why?
Remind me what pariah means.
I don't know verbatim, but like everyone would avoid that person. Like a bad reputation. Nobody wants to be associated whatsoever.
She seems really rude.
Yeah.
But she's also seemed quite devoted to Kier, so.
And later, when they it's the same scene where they talk about the child labor. How they used to work together in the factory when they were children. Yeah, because she's about to say we were chums. It seems like Sissy was instrumental in that work somehow. Like she may have been like in charge of them, like their supervisor or something at the factory. Definitely not good. So let me skip this forward. We're about to see Sissy. What did you think about her look?
Sissy, well, she looks scary, first of all. And she's very, I don't know. I've never seen Harmony in a room. Maybe one time I can think of is when she had her kind of standoff with Helena. When it looked like Helena was about to have her killed. Very few times have I ever seen Harmony in a room with someone where she is the less intimidating one. But I think that's kind of what this entire episode is. Seeing what her childhood is like and seeing her in a more sympathetic light. Sissy is scary. I think Sissy is scarier than Harmony is.
Yeah. And I think I agree with that. And I think part of what makes her scary is the way that Harmony engages with her.
Yeah, because she goes back to her little self almost. It's like we see her turn into the little girl she grew up as, and she did not have power as a little girl. So,
and it's later on, but I'll say it while we're here. Well, no, I'll wait because it's in the note. Sorry if that's awkward to watch, but you should be used to the awkwardness by now. So I don't think she was surprised to see her.
Because she let her in.
Yeah, and maybe it's because we find out Mr. Drummond had called.
Oh, yeah.
So she wasn't surprised.
I was what I was surprised about, though, was, like, she's yelling at her. She's saying, I have the right mind to call the authorities, blah, blah, blah. But she's allowing her to look through the entire house. Like, she's allowing her full reign of the property. Not even just the house, but the basement. She is, like, letting her look. So.
I don't know. She could have stopped her, though.
That's true. She looks very frail.
Yeah. She probably would have got pushed down in steps. I thought something like that would happen. But, so, Sissy, I think Sissy was expecting her, and she judges them for getting high on their own supply. I should have saved that joke for later. Then we see Harmony go upstairs. We see the height chart, and that's kind of how we figure out that was her room.
That's where she grew up.
And did you notice that it stopped at 12?
No.
Yeah, it was Harmony at age 12, and that was the end.
That must have been when she maybe got the Wintertide Fellowship.
Wintertide Fellowship. That would make sense. Yeah. That's... I was still playing with Barbies when I was 12. I still played Barbies when I was 15. I'm not lying. Everybody was like, you need to get your license. I was like, Black Barbie. All right. And so then she's back downstairs. Well, she's trying to get in her mom's room.
And we see a plaque on the wall as she's trying to get into her mom's room, and Sissy, it says Sissy Cobell on it. So that tells us that she's won some sort of award. I really wasn't able to read what's on it, but I wanted to know that it was there. So
I bet We're gonna watch some of those breakdowns. It's everything you missed on the last episode of Severance, and they don't have.
We love those titles.
I don't like the titles, but I do appreciate some of the videos because they sometimes they do. I won't say catch things that we missed. Just do more research. Because we saw the plaque, we just couldn't read what it says, and so we'll let the other people do that, and we really appreciate that. All right. So she wants the key to get in her mom's room. Which we find out is Charlotte Cobell was her mom. Do you remember from first season 1 wondering where that the oxygen tube?
Yeah, I remember her like kneeling at the shrine and like breaking down and seeing the oxygen tube, and it said Charlotte Cobell on it. So yeah. So a lot of people. I think it was the foregone conclusion, but we were right. That is a wrong. I don't think anybody guessed that it'd be used for ether, though. I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, yes, that is an ether tube."
I have not said the word ether this much since whenever Nas had the song. You don't know what that is?
No.
Before Kendrick and Drake, there was Jay-Z and Nas. And
which was more influential?
Not Like Us is the one. Ether was the one. Okay. So in my opinion, some people say Jay-Z won. That Ether burns. I'm sorry. I don't want to get flagged, and I definitely don't want to say the words wrong. I'll lose my black card. So then Sissy and Harmony are arguing back and forth. Sissy talks like you would expect her to talk.
Telling her that she brought all this woe into her life was very, I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah.
Especially because, she was a child.
Oh, my goodness. And the dialogue of Harmony saying, what were her last words? That is so, 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 so sad.
And I wonder, I don't know, I would like to, let's pause that. I would like to see a flashback of when Harmony found out about her mom, how she reacted.
Oh, I wonder if she was in the office when she found out.
Yeah, I would take a spin-off of Harmony's life.
Before this episode, I thought I probably wouldn't. And I was kind of against this episode, especially when I learned that it was only 37 minutes long and it was all about Harmony. I was definitely not a fan, and even after I watched it, I was upset. But sitting with it, I see the benefit of it, and I am more interested in Harmony's life now.
Yeah, I was here for it because we miss Harmony. It's been a minute since we've seen Harmony, so I was excited to get a Harmony story. I didn't know how everybody knew. People on the internet, everybody was saying,
"Yes,
where do you get that information?"
Your
But thank you. I do wish that they would have written it in a way, and I think it would have been very few pieces to move around to make it possible, but had this episode be number 7 and have last week's episode be after this. Switch Gemma and Miss Cobell around, because Gemma took us
that was so no matter, but I also feel like unless they did switch the episodes around like you said, no episode after this I think wouldn't be a drop.
Yeah,
because hello.
We'll know for sure when we see next week and see if we could have moved those pieces around or not. But I'm so
excited to hear from Mark, guys.
I should just trust, Mark. We'll talk about that later. So that slap, that was a good slap. And my favorite part about it is, and I think I just went past it. Yeah, but Harmony's face, that's where you said she regrets to a child. Yeah, look how she got her head down, like she was in trouble. That was very good acting. I don't think we've ever seen Harmony with that vulnerability.
Yes, with every episode, I become more and more impressed by the cast of Severance. Everyone in this show is amazing, and I love when we watch inside. Today we went through almost all of the episodes of season 2 and watched the little recap after where the actors and
behind
actresses,
the scenes.
And it showcases even more so how amazing these actors and actresses are, because they are so polar opposite from their characters. Milchick, the guy who plays Milchick, laughs and looks young and smiles and
his whole essence is different,
jovial. It's
uncanny.
Yeah, he freaks me out a little bit.
So then we still see Sissy and Miss Cobell going back and forth. Miss Cobell is I'm gonna call her Harmony instead of Miss Cobell. Harmony.
Because this is Harmony.
Yeah, this is Harmony.
She's not in the office.
She's upset that she wasn't there to say goodbye to her mother. And Sissy's, your school was more important.
And oh my goodness, it was like, there was the first time we'd seen it, Sissy like talk kindly about Harmony, and then it's all in past tense, and she hits her with a "what a disappointment you were." I mean,
yeah, nobody likes that from an authority figure. What is? Oh, I'm sure you've heard this.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Say it. Let's see.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. That's the low blow you throw out there as a parent when you like, oh, I ain't gonna yell at you, I ain't gonna fuss at you. But yeah, so it was very sad. Is this where I don't want to get out of order? No, that's later. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. So then she's looking for the key to get in her mother's room.
Yes.
I want to see that the dialogue.
It is. Oh, okay.
No, you go ahead. I can remember.
When she's saying, "Where is the key?" There's a moment where Sissy, like Harmony, looks down and sees that Sissy is like almost playing with something in the palm of her hand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like a rock with a face drawn on it. Mm. Is that what it?
I think it is. The same way I have my stress ball. You remember those worry stones I used to have? The one with a pretty rock says breathe. Mm-hmm. I think it's just something like that.
Oh, okay. It looked like it triggered something.
I think it reminded Harmony about the altar and the shrine. That key, that rock was probably like a cure stone or something. Okay. And it reminded her that she should go look at the shrine.
Got it. I was like, whose face is that? It's not realistic at all.
And I'm not going to rewind because I don't get too far back, but right before that scene where she asks about the key and goes upstairs, Harmony asks about her stuff, and she says she sold it to the poor. Lies. But then, and I can't remember verbatim, I know somebody else will, but Sissy says that, the door has to stay locked until everyone that loved Charlotte sits with Kier, which I guess means dies. But it made me think about at the end of the first season when Helena, well, it was Helly, but he thought it was Helena, was with her father at the gala, and he was like, "Oh, we're so proud of you," or whatever. And he said, "One day you will sit with me at my revolving." Does that mean Helena gotta die? If sit means die, does Helena have to die for whatever the next phase is? Do they sever her away so that, because we've toyed with the idea, are we putting different people's consciousness in the chips? Are we keeping the Egans alive forever, Kier alive forever by putting them in younger and newer bodies? So I don't know, it could just be the similar use of the word sit, but it triggered me a little bit and made me wonder, because I don't see it being above them.
Not at all. There are very few coincidences on this show. I will say that.
I did notice, look how dirty the mirror is. If you look at the scene where Harmony's going through this stuff, the mirror is very dirty. Dirty. But then when she goes over to the shrine, there's no dust.
So I wonder if Sissy has been maintaining it?
Yeah. Why? Maybe it just shows how important Kier is. Yeah. That she keeps it all tidy.
Harmony has the shrine too, but she destroyed it.
Yeah. Well, they fired her.
Yeah, I'd be mad too.
In a very cruel way.
Never did I think I'd feel this amount of sympathy for Harmony.
I would really like you detectives out there who have more time than we do to zoom in on that shrine and go through every little piece.
There's there's 2 pieces of papers that she moves that have text on them.
And the cards, they look kind of like tarot cards. I want to know about all of that. So please, please, please. And I will give you a view for that. And a like. And a comment.
And I'll subscribe.
Alright, so then she finds the key. She's into the room. I don't know that it means anything, but I thought it was pretty how the light shined through the window. So in my mind, as Charlotte left, maybe it was a peaceful moment for her to have the light shining in on her. Or at least, not that we want to imagine it, but if you have to imagine it, that would, be the way that you want it. Then we see Harmony. She's looking around. There are pictures on the wall. You guys figure out what all of that stuff is. But then she curls up in the bed. That may be the saddest for me. When she's curled up in the bed and she pulls out the breathing tube from her mom's and hooks it up and just. At first, I thought maybe she was getting high off of it, but I think, and I still don't know because she's so disoriented when she gets up.
Yeah,
Or did she just fall asleep?
I remember at first being like, "Oh no, she's not." That she's just like breathing in the oxygen. But then after we learned about ether, my takeaway is that she's definitely getting high right now.
You think that's her getting high? I mean.
And I think that would also help explain why when Hampton walked in and he was like, "Hey, do you want to get high?" He had way more of a reaction to it than she did. Maybe it was already in her system.
Right, I don't want to think about how. Yeah, I'm like, because I was about to be like, I don't know, but there has to be a limit to the education. I ain't never did either. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe I'm more well versed in this than you are.
I did. I was young once. I did try some things, but not either. Not either. I think, I used to, well, I'm a former smoker, guys. But I quit a long time ago. You know those commercials that come on the TV where the person,
has a
bless
hole
their
in
heart,
their neck?
has a hole in their neck, or they have to cut off a part of their body. She was 3 years old and was like, "Mommy, are you going to die of cancer?" And I was like, "No." She said, "But you're smoking." How do you know? So I was like,
She raised me to ask questions, and I asked them.
So I quit smoking because I had no defense. And if you, this is a tangent here, but if anybody does smoke, and you do want to quit, there's a pill called Chantix, and it's covered by pretty much every insurance that I know of, and even like state-sponsored Medicaid if you're in the U.S. The prescription, you take the pill, you take it once a day for 3 months, and it makes you you won't crave cigarettes anymore. They taste disgusting. They'll make you want to throw up. You're supposed to take that pill for 3 months. I took it for 3 days. I haven't smoked a cigarette since because it makes them disgusting. Because you still want to smoke at the beginning, so I would want to smoke. So I would just be like, well, I already got this pack. I might as well finish the pack, a puff, and just feel like I was going to throw up. So I kept putting the cigarettes out, and I was getting mad that I kept putting my cigarette out. I'm like, I'm wasting my cigarettes. These are expensive. Then it clicked. It's like, oh, I'm wasting the cigarettes. Maybe it's working. So yeah, it's hard to quit. But if you want to quit and you take Chantix, you can't quit. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Beware of side effects.
You know how side effects be.
Yeah, it did make me have really crazy dreams, but that was fun for me. All right, you wanted to say something about this?
Yes. Okay, I don't even know how to describe this. So after we see Harmony curled up in her mom's bed, there's this fade out from her to Ice. But right before that, the transition picture looks like it might be like a zoom in picture of like bacteria or something. I don't know what that is, but I think it's something, and I think I wanted to just put that out there.
Yeah, and I think I have that in a note somewhere. To me, it reminds me of like the brain scans or the like graphics on the like monitors where Ragabi was doing Mark. Like but that could just be like my abstract brain just connecting the two, that because they could be like different shapes. Or you ever seen those cards like where the therapist, it's like you on TV where the therapist is like, what is this? It's like a black and white picture, and it might look like a cow to one person or a frog to another person.
Oh, I see that.
So maybe like that. Let's see where we are. All right, so then Harmony is, either high or asleep. She could also be just exhausted from driving.
And also from Sissy.
Yeah, I know that's right. That slap might have did it.
mean, that slap was crazy. I don't know if you watched her other videos on soap operas, but that slap was better than the slaps on soap operas.
That's because she only see the soap operas now. She wasn't around in the 90s and 2000s. They used to slap. They would fight.
Now we're just like...
Yeah, it's like a waste of time. You might as well poke her. But yeah, so then we see Hampton come upstairs. Well, we hear Hampton and Sissy downstairs.
They going back and forth. I think she called him something with slave in it. She was pulling out like
maybe
some unique mean words, insults.
So and then he, Harmony is awakened. He comes up the stairs. I found it interesting that he had the lantern. Like, did he just have the lantern in the truck?
I find it even more interesting that he waited in the truck. It's late into the night, and he's saying, "Oh, the truck is cold." How long did you wait?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as late as we think, but it's definitely late enough for it to be dark. But also, like, it's cold, so it's winter.
It gets
it's cloudy.
dark quicker.
Yeah,
That's true.
but either way, he was there long enough to be cold, and he brings in the lantern, and he makes the joke. Joke that even though he says that he liked her mom, and she said, "Well, you barely knew her." He was like, "Well, I knew that she hated Lumen more than I did. That's all I needed to know." And then said, "Well, at least she doesn't have to live with Sissy anymore." I ain't never seen Harmony just chuckle like a little. It was small, but like.
But I mean, she was.
I didn't know she could do that.
It striked me as weird as it does when I see Milkshak's actor laugh.
The only time, just to be fair, we did see Harmony laugh and joke, but she was playing the other character, the person that helped Devin with the breastfeeding, his neighbor. She was in a different character. But actually, Harmony, I haven't seen that yet.
Only time we've seen Harmony actually full on laugh is when she was high. So,
Which is sad.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Okay.
Well, speaking of her being high, we have a note on here.
Where is it?
She gets high and she says, after she laughs and says, "I haven't done that since I was 8.
Yeah.
Harmony.
8. But that shows you what the kids were doing. And that makes me think, like, and it's a whole different conversation about, like, when we find out that Harmony invented everything, why? And maybe I don't know how to explain this. So I think for a lot of people, the addiction takes over, right? You try something, then you're addicted, and then it controls you. But that first try, people want an escape, right? They want to shut their brain off, like Severance. Maybe she thought she saw what people were doing, using the ether to get high as a break from their pain. And maybe the chip was born from, what if there's another way to cut off part of your brain?
Because it sounds like she had a really, really horrid childhood. Mm-hmm. So it'd be, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, we talk about Hampton having some leftover, like, resentment toward her. I wonder if he helped her. Or like maybe a conversation between them is what struck her inspiration. I wonder if just as much as Jane took credit for it, what if Harmony is taking a little bit of credit for it, or at least Harmony got to go and he didn't.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. All of that. We're good. We might not catch everything, but we can think and talk. And then he says, after she says, "I haven't done this since I was 8," he says, "You ready to man the vat for 10 hours?" You know what that means?
Laughed? I don't know what that means.
Do you... This is a soap opera break. Do you remember on Bold and the Beautiful when they had those big tanks and Hope pushed Tom, that big container, that's a vat, like a big industrial size barrel of poison? Whatever. Well, you can put whatever. You can have water in it. You can have acid. In their case, ether. So probably standing over the ether, like
breathing
staring
all that in.
Mm-hmm. At 8 years old, like I don't even know like how their brains are still working.
Maybe that's why they needed Severance.
Yeah. And like if she's, she sees what's happening to everyone, the other kids her age, and her mom, because her mom had breathing trouble. Her mom probably worked at the factory when she was younger. So I think it was really just trying to like solve all the problems. Yeah, I think that Harmony may have once been more of like a hero in her mind. She may have just wanted to do good, which makes her even more sad. Really, just how she is now. My nose so shiny. Then Harmony goes from telling Hampton that it's shameful that he sells ether now to the kiss. I don't really.
And the way that she said it was so Harmony. She was like, "It's shameful that you sell it." Like,
yeah, that was a good impression. I was looking at your face every at the same time.
I had like her mannerisms are so weird. Like she's so weird.
Yeah, he leaning into it.
He likes it.
Well, he's high.
Yeah, that's true. But he won't. Maybe he was high when she came in the shop. I don't know. But like, Harmony is so weird. That's like, I have my friend watching Severance right now, and that's like her biggest takeaway. All she ever says is, "Harmony makes me feel bad." Like, Harmony is odd. So
very much so. So then we hear she interrupts that one moment. Thank God, because I don't know where that was going. On her mama's bed.
Oh, y'all, who died? Like,
yeah, she's telling them to get out of there, and so I guess Harmony, the ether struck something in her, and she remembered that they have what is that thing called?
I know they called it on the
Like a
behind the
cellar?
scenes the basement. But
Okay. Yeah, I don't
it's
really
not
call
really
it
a basement because it's not stairs.
I think cellar. I think a cellar is the right word, like underground cellar. It's like a cave. We thought on the trailer when we saw people, we thought it was going to be another cave because we saw the cave at the Ortho, the outdoor.
Art.
Yeah, that place.
That yeah.
So we see Harmony take the lantern in there. I wish we could have seen more. I know it's dark. We're not supposed to see it, but I don't really necessarily like it when shows do this. You don't have to show us that it's dark. We can know that it's supposed to be dark, but like I would still like to see.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when it gets to a point where like you're squinting at this screen like,
and still can't see it.
Yeah. And it's that doesn't even happen in shows where it's like intended to not be seen. Like sometimes movies and shows are just too dark. I remember when we were watching another show on Apple TV, Silo. That show is so dark we had to like turn off the lights so that we could actually watch it. So yeah, that is frustrating.
And that was a lot of people complain about that. Like it wasn't just us. People were watching on their computers. Were like, I turned my brightness all the way up and I still can't see. But we see Harmony looking for whatever she's looking for. You know, going through. We see this is another one for you YouTube detectives out here. She's looking through like a yearbook. We see a picture of her, a younger Harmony, right next to I'm pretty sure that was Jane Egan.
There's something there.
There's something there. We'll get back there. But she keeps going through there. That's a pretty shot, even though it's distorted. But she finally finds what she's looking for, which is a statue, a statue of the head of
Jane.
Was it Jane or Kier? It had to be Kier.
It makes more sense to be Kier.
Maybe it's Kier. And that's how she knew she didn't throw it away, probably, because you can't throw away Kier. That's like throwing away like a Bible or something. Oh, no. I don't know. It went by too fast. Somebody will figure it out, and then we'll know. Yeah. It's okay.
Everything is so like
it's so fast. But she finds the statue. She opens up the bottom of it and pulls out these papers. Goes back into the house, and that's where we find out through another conversation with Sissy and Harmony.
It's quite funny. Before she goes in the house, she goes up to Hampton and she's like, "Meet me in the car. Protect my head."
I thought that was just Harmony talk for like watch my back. I didn't realize it's a head. She means the head. I didn't know that until like the third time watching it, where I was like, oh,
the head.
Alright, so we're moving to her inside, and Harmony's talking. Let's see. They're just bickering more back and forth.
Yeah, it's really interesting though because there's like this kind of. I feel like this kind of signifies to the audience. Throughout this entire episode, there's hints, but this piece of dialogue really signifies the switch in Harmony's brain from being like pro-Lumen to...
in her brain.
Right? Pro-Lumen to like hating Lumen is when she yells at Sissy, Lumen destroyed this town. And Sissy's like, there was no town before Lumen. But Miss Cobell wouldn't have said that.
I don't think Harmony loves Lumen. I think Harmony loves Kier. And I know they get tangled up in the same, but yeah, it's a little different.
So, oh my gosh, I can vouch for her on this. When Harmony gives her papers to Sissy, immediately she's gonna throw them in the fire. Harmony, no, she's gonna throw them in the fire.
They knew that's what we was gonna think because they showed her putting the wood in the fire as she came in the door. I was like, damn, Harmony,
yes, that is exactly what it was like.
So, but I was so glad that she didn't. But I hope she makes some copies, stop by like a FedEx or Kinko's or something, make some copies, take some pictures, email them to somebody, because can't just be having one copy of stuff.
Especially something like that, girl.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder why do you think she wanted to throw them away? Like burn them? Like what was Sissy? Yeah.
I really don't know. I really don't. Because Sissy spoke of Harmony's past like she had so much promise. So if she saw that, why? Why wouldn't you want her to be, like, more?
Maybe resentment. Maybe she's...
jealous, just like
that
Hampton?
She didn't. And she doesn't want to, like, have to feel guilty for what she put those kids through. Maybe it's a way to just keep, like, the status quo. And then, that's when Sissy tells her that her mother ripped out her own tube. and she didn't do it. Which I don't know if that's true. It sounds true, but I don't know this lady. She could lie.
And like that was another part of this episode where we see Harmony kind of regress. The way she yells, "I don't believe you," is very childlike. I feel like.
Yeah, because she wouldn't want to believe that. Let's see if I can see where we are, because I wanted to say something about that. Oh, dang, we just talking.
And we kind of did go in order a little bit.
Oh, we're almost done. Okay, so this is where I'm at. Where Sissy tells Harmony that she thought she was special. She was a flower. Now she just sees that she's a weed. This is not a cannabis joke. This is not weed. But weeds are some of the most important flowers and plants like on this earth. Dandelion is it's edible, it's medicinal. Any weed killer you buy at the store will tell you, and it gets rid of dandelions. People hate dandelions in their yard. I don't know why. Like, they're great source of nutrition, and also, like I said, very medicinally, like beneficial for your health. As are a lot of other weeds. So maybe she's right. Harmony is like a weed, but like the kind that we need. I rhymed.
You were a poet and didn't even know it. I came up with that on my own, guys.
All right, let's see. I just have weeds is the best medicine. And then that's like the end of their argument. I don't remember exactly how it ended. But, oh, no, dude, Hampton calls. He calls and tells her.
He's like, hey, someone's coming.
Yeah, because someone's on the road. They can see him coming. So she runs out, notebook in tow. It took me a while to understand, or at least guess, why he didn't get in the truck too. Like, why? Because her car is at the factory.
I was like, why isn't, like, I was confused about that too. I don't know why.
I think it was just to buy her some time. Like, if you ever,
you think he's going to stop the car?
Yeah. Like or at least stall to give her time to get a head start. Like, at the end of, like, the climax of, like, a superhero movie where someone has to stay behind and sacrifice themselves so that the other person can live. Which, I always laugh at those scenes. So I'm like, we're going to get away together.
Yes.
Like, this is not going to be the end for me just so you can go. Right? What if they get you later on? Like, we can both try to survive. But hopefully they don't take his life. But I don't know that he's got much to live for at this point. But it is wild to me that he would put himself out there. He ain't seen her in years.
Like, at least 30 years. And she don't really like you. Or maybe she do like you. I don't know. Harmony's weird.
But he is high. So, like, he might regret this tomorrow if he's still here tomorrow.
He was driving high.
She rolled with him. I don't know. Don't know about that
That's not
either.
very responsible, Harmony.
No.
What would Mr. Mills
Did she even say thank you? She just called his name.
I don't think Harmony has ever said the words thank you.
But the way she did say his name there at the end and the look they exchanged sound like that might be she might not ever see him again. I mean, because they don't the board, Mr. Drummond, Egan's, they don't want that to get out. That is very dangerous information that she has. So is that it? So then we see him, what do you remember? Oh, you can't say that. Let me see. I'll say it. He said something like, fuck around and try to tame these tempers or something. It was badass. Which made me think even more that he was about to put up a fight. And then...
I'm so interested in who was coming.
I bet Mr. Drummond.
I was just about to say.
I think Sissy probably called.
Yeah.
Because Harmony to unplug the phone, but I was like, girl, all she got to do is plug that back up. Like, if you ain't taking that cord with you or cut up the cord, it's very easy to plug it right back in.
It's easy to unplug it.
Either she called him or somebody else was watching. Like, she was afraid people were watching the house anyway. My thing is, why weren't they following Harmony the whole time? I don't know if that's a plot hole, but I feel like they should have like a GPS or AirTag or something on her car to so she wouldn't have so much of a head start. But I don't want to pick apart this show because it's largely exceptional.
I'm quite curious if that's like the end of Sissy. Not in terms of like, do we ever see her again? I'm quite curious about Sissy still. I have a lot of questions about her that I would like to see answered, and that makes me think of how you said that you would want to watch a Harmony spinoff. I bet Sissy would be in that.
Yeah,
I would.
Well, we have to cast a younger person.
Yes,
but I'm fine with that.
I love I love this show because I was really upset at this episode, and now I'm obsessed with it. And like my only critique is I wish it was longer. I wish we got to see more. If y'all could have given us flashbacks, oh my gosh, like
Some flashbacks with them younger to see. But maybe that's coming, or maybe they just don't want to go to tell that part of the story yet. Maybe I hope that it's coming. I want to know at some point, or maybe it will. Maybe it'll be a spinoff. There's so many different stories you could tell with this type of show.
Every character.
Every character can have their own story. And if well written, which I'm sure it would be, their characters could have character. They are really good, intricate umbrella storytelling. And even where we can't see the parts that are connected, we know that they are. And we will know sooner. Oh, I wanted to start the video off with this. I was right. We were right. I've been saying, and I have a couple of videos on here where I said it, but I was saying it a long time before that to you. Why is Harmony so big in the opening credits? The title, it ends with Mark crawling out of himself, but before that shot, it's Harmony, and she has the book open, and
her head is huge.
And I was like, why is Harmony so big? What is the book about?
And we've been saying, like, oh my gosh, she must be a really, really big character. But for the past few episodes, she hasn't been in it. And that was, like, a big, like, what the heck thing for me. So.
And something else, if you noticed about that, that section of it where Harmony's big, she's opening the book. If you watch it again, when the book is open, it's illuminated. Illuminated.
Yeah.
Illuminated.
Yeah, that's all her.
Thank you. I tried. No, I just think that's really fascinating. And I am glad that we were right. I like being able to say that, of course. But also just knowing that, like, they have given us this story in the opening credits. We just don't know what it means.
Yes, and, like, so the show is so amazing because you can really... At the beginning of the season, we watched the opening credits, and it's like we're watching the same opening credit every single episode, but every time we go back, there's something else that ties into the story. They're telling us the opening credits is season 2.
It was so brilliant that we don't know it until we see it. Like, yes. They done spoiled it already.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Severance.
It's brilliant. All right, but then we see, apparently now... That's when she decided to answer the phone. Devin called again.
Right. Devin, I don't understand. I get that you're going through a lot right now. You're going through a lot right now, Devin. But Miss Cobell, you gonna call Harmony. And not once, not twice, but 3 times. Harmony?
I wish she would have just let Ragabi hang out.
I'm saying.
Not that I trust Ragabi.
No. But also, I'm kind of upset that we just lost Ragabi.
Yeah. That's how it was first season. It was like, oh, Ragabi. Then it was like, who? Like, she beat somebody there with a bat and then just dip off.
Right? And it's like, I don't know. She's not trustworthy at all. But...
She's interesting.
Yes.
And everybody's interesting.
And I was just about to say, and she's the one who knows the most about reintegration. But who's to say that? Harmony is the one that made everything. Harmony should know about reintegrating.
And it's Harmony knows about Ragabi because every time they talk about reintegration, she throws her name up. So, like, they
have
know each other.
Paths.
Yeah. What if Ragabi... No, I was going to say, what is Ragabi if they have, like, a love relationship? Maybe she wants to get Harmony away from her. But that doesn't make sense because of the way she talked about Harmony. She said,
she's a soldier.
Yeah, they raised her. She's looming through and through. So... not all thoughts are great thoughts. All right, so then we hear Miss Cobell. I just respect her so much.
Right?
Miss Cobell on the phone with Devin, and Devin explaining that Mark has been reintegrating. And
she says, Ragabi, she says, yeah, but we want to try something else. Mm-hmm. And she's like, put him on the phone.
And well, she says that she hasn't killed him yet. I wonder if they know about Granger. I know they know about Petey. Do they know about Granger? Ragabi just be killing people in different ways.
Ragabi is a serial killer.
She's a soldier.
Yes, and like a murderer.
A serial killer. That was it. Took me a minute to catch up. That was funny. And Devin says, no, I think he's okay. You say, want to try something else? And then when Mark does get on the phone, I want to quote him. I want to say what he says.
He says, yeah, hello.
Well, Harmony says, tell me everything. Oh, no, that was the last thing she said before tell me everything. He says, yeah, hello? It's just like, go back and watch that. It's his tone. She
rewinded it for me 3 times so I could hear what she was saying. What you meant. Yeah.
That's not the tone of Audi Mark. And so I was thinking maybe it's any Mark because it's very hesitant, very questioning.
I feel like if it was Audi Mark, he would have like said what the F or something.
Yeah. Or maybe call Ragabi. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But he would have been more, have a different tone to him. But it doesn't necessarily have to be any Mark. It could be a version of Mark we haven't met yet.
And I think not only does his tone kind of imply that it's not Audi Mark, but Devin doesn't sound scared. She just sounds confused with maybe like a tinge of hope. He's awake. I don't know. I don't think she sounds scared though. Yeah. I think maybe she kind of sounds in awe. And if she would be in awe of something, it would definitely be any Mark being in front of her.
Yeah.
So
we know the reintegration is not going to go smoothly and be all fine and dandy. Something is wrong. All right, so my note that I wrote in my book that I'm not even supposed to be writing in, but I had a thought, and I've talked about this on a couple of other comment sections, so I know a lot of people are having this idea. Is Harmony Helena's mom? So it's a couple of different things that make me wonder that. All right, dang, I forgot. I wanted to put it in order. All right, so that we see the yearbook picture of Harmony with Jane Egan.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Egan says he's the one who invented it, but we know it's Harmony.
Yes.
They look pretty close in that picture. Like, you can take a picture close with someone, and you can take a picture close with someone. And they felt more close
with someone.
And looking at his age and her age, a very pretty young woman. And also, I don't know what it would take for me to let a man take credit
for all your work,
for a genius,
for something like that.
Yeah, like, I understand the devotion to Kier, that's part of it, I'm sure, but also you get kind of stupid
real
when you're involved with someone in a relationship, or even intimately. When you do grown-up things.
Like sharing vessels.
Yes, like the sharing of the vessel. I think they share vessels. And I think that she was young and he manipulated her. She didn't know any better. And I think it's out of the question that she may have gotten pregnant. We haven't heard anything about Helena's mother. Just father. Even when they showed showed Helena and, well, it was Helly. Anyway, showed mom, the father and father and the dad. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. When we showed father and daughters together, there's no talk of mom. And when he talks about when she saw the chip when she was little and said everybody should have one, there's no talk of like a mother figure being there. And the other thing that might make that possible is that we know that Lumen has their hands in fertility and childbirth, because they had the clinic where Gemma and Mark went, right? And then the last thing that I had to write down.
And also the pregnancy retreat thing as well.
The pregnancy retreat thing. Yes, that's part of it. Breastfeeding. That was the note I wrote in my good book, guys, was breastfeeding. Remember, how does she know so much about breastfeeding? Like, even though Harmony was pretending to be Miss Selvig,
she don't have a kid.
How does she... It's hard to get a baby to latch on. It's very hard. Because they don't know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And I think that she's had experience breastfeeding. I think that that's how she was able to teach Devin so quickly, because she taught Devin like that, and it's hard to teach a proper latch. So yeah, I think she might be, and I'm sure there's some other pieces I'm just forgetting, but I think, excuse me, that was our dryer going off. I think that Harmony may be Helena's mother, and that they were telling us since the first season with the breastfeeding. Like, they are notorious for putting these hints in that we don't understand our clues until we get there. And I think that that's that. And all the scenes we have where they're like facing off against each other, Harmony and Helena or Helly, so many scenes where they're one-on-one. I think that they were showing us a mother-daughter story.
You saying that just makes me also show more appreciation to this show, not only for the opening credits, but for the recaps they give us. They are always so relevant to what we're watching. In this recap we saw when it looked like Helena was about to have Harmony killed. There's a moment when Harmony goes back and retreats to her car. The way that Helena says her name, she goes, Harmony? Like, there's something there.
And at the end of season 1, when she's at the gala and Harmony is trying to stop her from telling, to running out there and telling everybody about the innies. I don't remember exactly what they say verbatim, but there's dialogue where she's like saying, it's your company, or my company, your company. And it's just, I think
Do you think Helena knows? If Harmony's her mom, do you think Helena knows that's her mom?
No.
No. Do you think Helena ever has thoughts about who her mom is?
I think they probably told her like her mom died in a car accident or something like they did Gemma. Or she might not think she had a mom. She might think she was born in a lab. I wouldn't, if it seemed like that's the world they live in, where it would be like acceptable. Like maybe I could see him saying he's her father and her mother. I think it's possible. Oh my gosh, we went an hour. We're longer than the show. But it was fun. I think, of course, it's not as same as last week. It's not going to be the same hype. Because,
I mean, no.
But it couldn't be, right? But that was the best show for me, definitely the season, probably the series.
Yes, I mean, like, and it's sad because that's the best episode I've seen so far. And I think about rewatching it, but I don't know if I can.
Sad.
Y'all, like...
I just had another thought. Because after we watch the show today, normally we just stop after the credits, and I'll watch a little behind-the-scenes stuff on YouTube. But today I played it on the television, and so she saw it and was like, oh, do they always do this? So we went back and watched other ones. And so we watched the one from episode 7, last week's episode, in the behind the scenes, and I was waiting to hear the actress that plays Gemma speak.
Dee Chin, I think is her name. I was like, where is she at?
And she wasn't in there, and I wonder if that was on purpose.
Like, maybe we're not allowed to. We're not even. Dang. Oh.
We don't because if you think about like her character,
There's
we
only
don't get
so
a
much
lot
she
of
can
her.
say.
She doesn't get like agency. So maybe like that was intentional. Like we don't get to hear her perspective.
It was really awesome hearing from. I know her name is Jessica something. Delange, I think, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. The director.
Yes, she is amazing.
Director in cinema. She was the director for episode number 7, but she's the cinematographer for most episodes.
I know she did the art bow or whatever. Yeah. That one as well, because she was talking about how interesting going outside was.
Well, she didn't direct that one, but she was the cinematographer for most episodes. She was working the camera.
Got it.
Which they work together.
Yeah.
The person who's saying this is where you point, and a person doing it, you really have to be like in sync and work together. So I'd say it's probably a bit of both, regardless. And that her having the experience of operating the camera and framing those shots
probably
for
helped
other episodes.
Her with directing.
Yeah, she already was able to see the vision. I'm so grateful for that because it was beautifully well done.
Amazing. I don't think it would have been as beautiful if a man had directed that episode. Honestly.
I mean, especially with what happened in that episode, and I'm not saying that men don't hurt as well from a loss like that, but it's different, you know? Yeah. And I can't assume that that's something she went through in her personal life, but everybody, if you haven't, you at least know someone, or you can, like, imagine. So, it was very well done. I don't have any complaints.
I just wish, the only complaint I have for this episode is I wish it was longer.
Yeah. But
that's how I feel about, I think, every episode.
Mm-hmm.
I will take all y'all give me.
Any predictions for next week?
Oh, gosh.
I didn't ask you ahead of time.
Well, I know that we both think that that's not Mark, or that's not Audi Mark. That's any Mark.
That's other Mark.
Yes. I'm wondering if it's any Mark, I wonder if he'll ask to see Irving. I wonder if we'll see Irving at all.
Oh, I do miss Irving.
Cause he's like in the Audi world now. I wonder if he'll think maybe I can see Irving. Jeez.
Cause we can. I feel like we can get Irving back.
We better get Irving back.
The glass glow block, the same thing that they use for
Helena.
Yeah. So I know he's in there somewhere. I just don't know if we're going to get him back this season or they're going to make us wait till next season.
I know we've both been talking about Milchek, and one of some video with Milchek, the man who plays Milchek, he I can't remember verbatim what he said, but he basically spoke of thinking that it could be the end for Milchek. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that
was today in one of those behind the scenes things that we watched. Yes.
We were just basically both thinking like if he says that as like an option, then that must be like an option. Mm-hmm. So maybe next episode will be the end of Mr. Milchek. Maybe Miss Wong will take over. Oh, I don't like her, guys.
She unnerves
She got a
me.
mouth on her. Like,
Yeah. I still don't know if she's their daughter. Like, I don't know. I have so many questions. And this is the only show that doesn't, like, piss me off that I can't figure it out.
we know they'll answer them.
Yep.
We know they'll follow through.
I just gotta be patient and enjoy the ride.
Yes. Do you have any?
I think I'm pretty much in sync with you. I'll make predictions as we go, as we watch a show. But like this, I kind of just like, ooh, what they're going to give us next week. You know, I'm just excited.
No, I'm more like, next week.
We only got 2 more episodes, right?
That's so crazy.
9 and 10.
Me. But we're going to rewatch the entire series.
So 9 is going to be amazing because that's what they call the penultimate episode, the one right before the finale, where they're going to ramp it back up. And maybe that's why they ordered the episodes the way that they did. We were already up. We had to come down a little bit so we can go back up. Yeah. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Thank you to everyone who's watching this, liking this, commenting on this. We appreciate you. I apologize for all my stuttering. Yeah. Are we gonna?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Praise Kier.